Welcome back.
I'm Erika.
And this is Sherry.
And this is Generation Conversation. What's up, what's up, what's up?
Well, we're back from our last episode, the live event.
That was epic.
That was dope.
Oh, gosh. Dope. I've never heard anyone say dope so hard.
That was good, but we really appreciate you guys.
Yes. So, of course, shout out to Weird Kid.
And guess what? Today is Weird Kid's birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Diesel.
Now, it won't be your birthday when we drop this episode.
But they get the point. They catch the drift. So y'all can celebrate him by go checking out his music on SoundCloud, Apple Music. Weird Kid is the name. Yes. WEIRDKYD.
And he has some new music out there.
Yes. Shout out to him. And another special shout out we had to say for our cousin DJ.
D-Shirt.
Yes, DJ, shout out to you. He tunes into all of our episodes and he'll call us to talk about it.
He will. We appreciate that.
And then he will be like having casual conversation. He'll be like, you said that on this episode.
Yes.
So we love it. DJ has been supporting us since day one.
Thank you, DJ.
We love you, DJ. And of course, just shout out to everyone who tuned into the live. We had such a great turnout and so much interaction on the live. It was hard. We had 3 screens going on one time.
And we're so sorry for those that we didn't see or shout out that joined. We're sorry about that.
We'll get it better next time.
We'll get it better. Yes. We'll get better. That was overwhelming.
Yeah, but it was fun.
It was fun.
You was lit, Sherry.
Yeah, I was. No more wine for me.
Gotta have that Stella. But so what are we gonna be talking about today?
So this is episode 11. Episode 11.
Yes, I like to say this is like season 2.
Yeah,
you know, I feel like I'm on a Netflix series.
I know, season 2, and our topic today is actually called Trending Topics.
What do you mean by that?
So what we decided to do was to just take topics that are trending on Twitter, in the news, wherever, and just touch base on it. Just talk about it a little bit. That's all.
Yeah. So just things trending going on in the world from old school and new school perspective. So that'll be interesting.
It will. Now, speaking of trending topics, I just want to shout out somebody that is trending right now. His name is Kyle Lewis, and he is actually a good friend of Erika.
Yes.
His dad coached Kendall in basketball. They're neighbors. They went to high school. His parents are great, blah, blah, blah. But he won. He just won last night. He just won the AL Rookie of the Year in Major League Baseball, y'all. Baseball.
Shout out to you. We got 2 Kyles we shout out. Shout out to Kyle. That's big. I've known Kyle since I was in 5th grade.
Yes.
For a long time.
We are proud of you,
We are so proud of you, Kyle.
That's a whole big deal.
Yes. So he's trending, and that's awesome.
Yep.
We're so proud of you.
Yep.
Another big thing that has been trending for the past however long.
Y'all know what it is.
Y'all know, okay. The election.
The election.
The one and only.
This is going to probably be trending until January 20th.
No, it's going to be trending for the rest of our lives. This is a moment in history, y'all. I want y'all to make note. You can tell your kids or your kids' kids how you was in history. This is crazy, okay?
Trending. So this election, before we start talking about it, we did something a little different.
We wanted to spice things up. We got some feedback, so we wanted to kind of give some insight in a different way. So what we decided to do is interview some people that we know. They're not quite my age.
And they're not my age either.
But they do have a little bit more gray.
Yes.
Check it out.
Yep.
Hello.
Hey, Grandma.
Hey, Grandmama.
You ready for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the TV off.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. It won't take long, okay?
All right. That's good.
All right. Well, can you first just start by introducing yourself, just by giving us your name and your age?
Well, you don't have to ask me.
No.
Say what?
Just give me your name and your age.
But now?
Yes.
Yes, I'm 92 years old. Belinda Fennell.
And your birthday.
December the 31st, 1927.
All right.
Okay.
All right. This is my grandmother and Erica's
Great grandmother.
Thank you,
Yes.
Grandma. So we're going to ask you a few questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Grandma. So, you know the election happened. How do you feel about the results of the election?
I'm happy about it.
Why?
Because I think Biden would make a change in things.
Okay. Any particular reason?
Yes, I think so. Because I believe him. And
Right.
I believe he's going to try to, you know, health care and the virus and all, try to do something about it.
Right. Right. How do you feel about Kamala Harris as his vice president?
Oh, I think that's wonderful.
Yep. And the fact that she's a woman and she's black. How do you feel about that?
Happy about it. I think she'll do a good job.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
So, Grandma, how do you think the voting process has changed since your day?
Oh, it's changed a whole lot. Because back in my day, election night, you know who your new president would be.
Right.
Right. Right. So were you able to vote?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Do you remember how old you were when you first voted?
I was old for a long time. Couldn't vote, and then afterwards could vote. It's a long time that I didn't.
Right, right, right.
Do you remember who the first president was you voted for?
No. I think it was, I'm not sure, but I think it was Kennedy.
Okay, okay, okay. What else do you want to say just about the voting? And well, you voted right next door to where you voted right next door to where you lived, right?
That's right.
So you didn't have to go far, which was good. Because I know that there's a lot of people, elderly people, who couldn't make it to the polls and, didn't have access to vote or, means to get there. But luckily you did.
Yes, I did.
Good. How was the, the atmosphere in voting? Like, did you feel comfortable voting? Did you feel,
Yes, I did.
Good.
I felt very comfortable.
Good.
I did it on my own.
Good. And you voted the day of election or early?
The next day. After they opened over there, the next day.
Oh, early.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Anything else you want to add, Grandma, about how voting is different or
change that you want to see?
Oh, I can't think of too much right now.
Okay.
But there's a whole lot I'd like to see.
Give us an example of something.
Well, I can't think a lot of time right off. You ask me something, I can tell you, but I can't.
Anything about like how elderly people are treated, Social Security, health care, anything like that?
Well, I think that's not right for them to want to get rid of Obamacare.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people can't afford health care. Because I have good health care.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot can't afford it.
That's right. Okay. Okay. And if you had the opportunity to meet one president that is either alive or dead, who would you have wanted to meet?
Obama.
I knew you were going to say that.
Obama.
Why?
I like him. And he was like for all the people, not just the Democrats or Republicans. He was for everybody, it seemed.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
And they couldn't bring up nothing on him. I don't care how hard they tried.
Right, right. And also, he is nice looking too, huh?
Oh, yes, he handsome.
So that doesn't hurt.
He have a good looking and a good, nice family.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. That's true. That's true. Well, Grandma, we thank you so much for your time and thank you for allowing us to ask you these questions.
It's an honor. I feel honored. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Grandma.
I'm proud of both of you.
Thank you. And
Love you.
love
God
you
bless.
too. Thank you. We'll call you
Love
later.
too.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
She never said God bless.
Wait, we still going. You ready?
Mm-hmm. I got it last time.
Hello.
Hi, Grandma.
Erica.
Hi, Miss Lewis.
Hi, Sherry.
How are you?
Oh, blessed. Highly favored. How are you both?
We're
We're
good.
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 Okay, Grandma. So we just wanted to ask a few questions. It's about the election process.
All right.
Okay. So how do you feel about the results of the election?
I'm sorry. I didn't understand that.
I said, how do you feel about the results of the election?
The results?
Yes.
I don't feel like it's over yet.
Okay. Interesting. Do you think they're going to have a recount?
I'm having some problems. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. But we getting feedback.
Echo. I just say echo.
Okay, I want to take it off the speaker. Maybe
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Speaker definitely. Need to answer the question again.
You hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I had to put it back on speaker. I've been having some problems with my phone a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping we can hear each other.
Okay.
So what was your second question?
Well, I'm going to ask the question again. I just said, how do you feel about the results of the election?
Okay, same answer. I don't think the results are in yet.
So you think they got some more time to go?
I think it's something that's going to happen. I don't think it's over yet.
Okay. Okay. Now, how did you feel about the voting process? Like, because you've been voting for several years now, I'm sure. Did you feel comfortable voting?
Well, I voted mail-in. I got the, what you call it?
Early?
I didn't go out.
Oh,
I voted.
Oh, the
Yeah.
mail-in
the
ballot.
absentee
Yeah.
ballot. And did you mail it?
Correct.
And did you mail it in?
Yes, I mailed it in.
Okay. Okay.
So, how do you think the voting process has changed? I know it's different with the mail-in ballot, but what other changes do you think there has been?
I'm not sure because as far as I see, it's the same as when we were voting before. When I voted last year, I voted, went to the precinct. And what I can see on TV, which wasn't a lot, it seems the same.
Right. So, one thing we forgot to do was ask you just to say your name and your age and your birth date.
I don't know why you gotta know my age. Okay. My name is Clarice Christina Lewis. My age is I'm 86.
Oh, wow, girl.
Birth date is July 16, 34.
All right. And this is my mother-in-law and Erica's grandmother.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
All right.
You just told me.
All right, Miss Lewis. So listen, do you remember the first time you voted?
No, I really don't. I think it's when Humphrey was running,
Okay.
and I can't even remember what year that was.
Right. Okay.
But I can remember him.
So you lived there during a time at some point where you couldn't vote, right?
No, I don't think so. We just did not vote. It wasn't, well, we just didn't vote.
Got you.
And that wasn't because we couldn't. I'm not sure why we didn't.
Right.
We could have voted.
Do you remember your parents voting or anything they talked about with voting? No.
They weren't voting then, Because, like I said, my mother and father, we lived down in South Carolina, out in the country. And I'm not sure why they didn't, but I don't think many black people were voting then.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you had to. Well, there was so much going on, I guess, but I don't remember them voting.
Right.
Did you all talk about politics at all?
No.
No.
Right. What are some changes that you want to see? Some changes that you want to see once the actual president or, once everything is settled down, regardless of who's president, what changes do you want to see?
I want to see abortion stopped.
Okay.
Same-sex marriage.
Okay.
Those are my two primary things.
Okay. Very good. Anything else? Anything else about the voting as far as the differences between when you voted when you were younger and you voting now? Do you see any differences? Well, I'm sure one of the differences is that you weren't able to do an absentee ballot before, were you?
No, it's usually age, seniors.
Right.
I think you probably know the people that can and can't vote absentee ballot.
Right.
If you're traveling or you're sick or whatever.
Right.
This is my first year voting absentee ballot.
Got you. So you normally go to the polls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. But I was thinking this time we had to stand up so long for what I saw on TV.
Right.
But
Right.
I probably wouldn't have because they weren't long.
Right.
But I just got an absentee ballot.
Right.
Which is easier for me.
Right. I know that they did make it so that senior citizens, I think people over a certain age were able to walk straight to the front of the line.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't go.
Right.
And of course, you got the early voting. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
I went early last year, and the year before too.
Right.
Right. So it probably was different this year. I don't know.
Right. Probably so. All right. Well, anything else you want to contribute before we go?
I breathe a sigh of relief. No, I think it's okay. Everything is good.
Good. Well,
thank you for this, Grandma.
Thank you for your time and contributing. We appreciate it.
You're welcome, honey.
All right. We love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was so great.
That was
I love
great.
that.
That was great. It's very interesting, the opinions, you know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? First of all, how many of you guys at my age still have your grandmother?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And Erika, shoot, at your age, having a grandmother and a great-grandmother.
Yes.
So.
And for them to see, I know they have seen so much over the years. Like,
so much.
It is crazy. So
Yeah.
for them to have that perspective and see how it's evolved, that's big.
Yes. And just still, just voting. Just them voting, getting out and letting their voices be heard.
That means that you could do it too, or hopefully you did do it.
Right.
It didn't stop them.
Right. So shout out to them. Thank you guys so much.
We love y'all.
Yes, we do. All right, Erika. So let's talk about the same things. We asked them, one of the questions we asked them was, how did you feel about the results of the election? What about you?
I was satisfied that, we got Donald Trump out of the office, and also just with the turnout of everything. Like, I feel this was the biggest election with the most voter turnout. So I feel like that was big in history to acknowledge. And just people getting out and using their voice, and not even just the voting, but just being out and just fundraising and just promoting the candidates, and even like, okay, I'm glad Biden won, but then we got Kamala Harris. Like, that's big for the Black women. That's phenomenal. I love to see it. Just letting people know that you could do it, like, especially people who look like you. I think that's a big deal, and just the progression in it all. So I was satisfied with it. I'm not very a political person, but I just like the way that it is evolving.
Right. So, what do you think about the voting process?
I'm not. I mean, okay, so honestly, this was my first year that I voted. And
ooh, that's a shame.
Well, okay, the first year that I could vote, I didn't vote. I was in school in Florida, and I didn't really understand the whole mail-in thing. I don't know if I did it too late. I don't remember what exactly happened, but I wasn't home where I could vote to make it easier. But it's crazy. This year I did the mail-in vote and I was at home. But anyway, I didn't vote last year. So
last year.
I mean, 4 years ago. So I was like, dang, I'm the reason Donald Trump won. But then I was like, okay, this year I gotta vote.
Now you're the reason that he lost.
Right. I guess you could say that. But I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if I like how the setup, because I have voted in like local elections. Those I feel are very important, very much, even more important than the general election.
They really are.
So I have voted in those type of elections. So I lied. Okay. That wasn't my first time. I'm sorry.
This
is my first presidential. Yes,
gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. But yes, right. You were only able to vote in one previous to this.
Right. Okay. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound as terrible.
Right. But I just don't like how the ballots are set up, and there's just the information on the candidates. I wish it was displayed in a different way. I mean, granted, you should always try to do your research, but I just feel like there's a different way to go about having details on each candidate and how they're listed on the ballots. I don't know. It could be, it's 2020. They definitely could do it differently.
Right.
So it's time for change, and I feel like maybe this election will promote that change.
Right. That's true. Now, what's one thing or two that you want to see change now that we are, I guess we're through with this election, but one thing that you want to see change?
I want to see better healthcare, of course. Obamacare is great, but just so much more to do in healthcare, so much room to grow. Healthcare should not cost an arm and a leg. It should not.
And a foot.
And a foot, and your eye. Like, I mean, just being on the front lines of it, I see how much, we do for people, and how hard, and a lot of the reasons people are in the hospital is because they don't prevent simple conditions because they can't afford to go to a doctor on a yearly basis.
Right.
Like simple as that should not be an issue. So they end up having these serious conditions because they don't have good health care.
Yeah.
So it's a terrible cycle. So I would love to see that changed. And Biden, if you could get rid of my student loans, baby, come through.
So you want miracles?
Oh,
you want miracles.
I believe anything is possible. Okay, and I believe Biden and Kamala Harris can do
they
it.
can do it.
That would be like, oof, I don't
Yeah.
even know.
Yeah.
That would be a change within itself.
I know, I'm sure.
So, Ma, what about you? How do you feel about the results of the election?
So what I like, in addition to, you know, the results, the actual results of us getting a new president, I think it was time for us to get a new president anyway. But what I liked the most about the election was how people came together.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Okay, first of all, guys, remember, I'm from Philadelphia.
Philly.
And I live in Atlanta. Now, you know, Philly was out here. They were out in the
But Georgia
streets.
was too.
That's why I said I live in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I'm from Philly. I live in Atlanta. So between Philly, Pennsylvania, and Atlanta, Georgia.
Showing out.
You know what I mean? They showed out. And I was so proud.
Yeah.
I was so proud. But, and these memes are killing me. These memes are hilarious.
People are really funny.
People are funny.
Like, they need to make a meme business.
Yeah,
like,
for real. You could go buy a meme. You could buy a meme.
For real.
The memes are hilarious. But, so that was probably, it just really made me feel really good to see how people came together.
Yeah.
And all the people that got out and voted. And even in Philadelphia, I saw a video where they were in line. And I mean, the line was so long. And they were doing an electric slide. And they were just, you know, trying to make the best of it. People were taking, some people I know on Facebook were taking water out to them and food out to them. It's the stuff like that just really fills my heart. And, you know, that's what voting is really about.
Right,
it's coming together.
Sure,
that's what it's really about.
Yeah.
So that's what I like the most.
Okay. So from back in your day, how has the voting process changed till now for you?
Right. So I think one of the grandmas mentioned that previously, when you did an absentee ballot, it was only certain reasons you could do an absentee ballot.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you had to be in the military or, you know, your job moved
and I think that was recent. Very recent.
It is. The only reason it's like this now, I believe, is because of COVID.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, that's changed where anybody can fill out an absentee ballot, which was great because Kendall was able to vote for the first time. You know, with an absentee ballot, although I think he would have been able to get an absentee ballot anyway because he was in school. Right. Yeah. But, so that's changed. Let me tell you what's changed for the worse is the campaigning.
Oh my gosh. I be like thinking it's like reality TV.
Oh
I
my
be like,
goodness.
are you serious?
It's really sad.
They might as well just curse on there because they going all around the curse words, son of a gun. And
it's really sad how they're pulling out all kinds of punches to make each other look terrible.
It's very terrible.
Sad.
It's
sad.
terrible.
I don't even watch any of those commercials or anything like that because it's terrible.
It's so degrading.
That's terrible. So, you know, that's probably the two biggest things that have changed. Well, and the fact now that, I don't know, I always thought that the qualifications to become a president were a little different. They were unsaid qualifications, you know, but, you know, like, I don't know, I guess an actor, you know, Ronald Reagan or whatever, if he could become a president, so can
the main qualification should be a sane human being.
Yeah, but who's to determine that? Crazy people. So you can't, you know, you can't say that. So
that was definitely an eye opener.
It was. But you know, you say like Kamala Harris and people say Obama. You know, they make people, they make people or children say, "Oh, I could be, you know, anything I want," but. With Donald Trump, that
could be anything you want.
You could be
any type of person. You could say whatever you want to be, and you could be president. That's terrible. So, who was the first president you remember voting for?
You know, I didn't vote when I was younger.
Oh no, when? About what age do you think?
Probably. I was in my 20s.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think if when I was in Philadelphia, I voted. Well, I can't don't even remember who the first president was I voted for. I know I voted for, okay, so of course it was before Father Bush. Maybe he was the first one I voted for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Was there a reason? Like, did you talk about politics?
It wasn't, yeah, growing up, you know, my grandmother and them, I don't know if my father ever voted.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible though, but that wasn't a big deal growing up, which is why we made it a big deal in our household.
Right, right.
Because it's very important, you know what I mean? And you know, back then, they would just say, go vote Democrat or whatever.
Right, right.
And that's not how it goes, you know. Now we need to research and see what's going on, you know. Excuse me.
Okay. So, what is one thing or more than one thing that you want to see changed?
Outside of the things that I didn't like the voting process, one of the things that I want to see change is that we get rid of the electoral process.
Okay, okay.
I think the electoral process is very outdated now. I think it should be by popular vote. I think that makes sense. I think it makes it easier. You want to tell us about the electoral process?
Yeah, so, you know, it's crazy. Each election, I do more research. Like, I don't ever get excited or interested in it until it's election time. So, so really just the whole voting process, I don't feel like a lot of people know or do their research on. You know, first, of course, you have to register to vote. And if you register, if you don't know if you register, you go online and look and see if you're a registered voter. But just making sure you're registered to vote is important and big. And then, of course, research your candidates and your political parties, Democratic or Republican, see where their views and how they line up with yours. And then checking the state-to-state rules and regulations about where you can vote, about if you, like the absentee ballots or, you know, if certain areas you live in, where their polls are and things like that. And then you find that polling place and then you go cast your ballot. So after you do all that, you know, okay, woody woo, you cast your ballot, you voted, you got the little sticker, you know, now what? Now, like, how do you determine, or how do they determine who wins? That's where that electoral college, that process comes into place. And like my mom said, it's, you know, it's so outdated if you ask me, because we're supposed to be a democracy, and democracy, you would assume it would be done by popular vote, but the electoral college doesn't work like that. So the college is a group of people called electors. So the number of electors each state gets is equal to the total number of senators and representatives in Congress. So there's a total of 530 electors from each electoral college. So that represents the whole United States of America. And then the president who wins gets 270. They have to get 270 electoral votes. So each state gets a certain number of electoral votes. And this is something I was looking up, like, as the election was going on. Okay, you know, what state, how does this state have this many electoral votes? And how does this state get that? So that's just determined based on the number of the total number of representatives in Congress. And I was thinking, you know, maybe it's a population thing. And I think it's just dependent on really probably population, like how big the state is, because I know California, they have one of the most electoral votes.
Right.
They have 55. And then you got Texas next, 38. But then you got New York and Florida, they have 29. So I feel as though it's probably population based, excuse me, with the number of total representatives in Congress in each state. So, and I think Georgia has we have 16 electoral votes. So that's why, you know, we were waiting for Georgia, and was it Arizona, right, Pennsylvania, and I don't even think Georgia is done counting yet. There's several states who are not done counting. And I think that's because of so many mail-in ballots still coming in. And I know there are some states who, I think it was their first time having the mail-in ballots for some states. Oh. So they had a requirement that if you mailed it out like on the day of the election, it would still count.
Oh,
or yeah, so I'm just like, okay, so you gotta wait for that. So it's just, it's just so many people still counting.
That's interesting. Now, to touch base on that, it's funny because when you look up the electoral process, the electoral college process and everything, one of the things that most articles says is the winner of the electoral college vote is usually the candidate who has won the popular vote. Now that's how you know that's how you know this is outdated. This process is outdated because
I don't even know how they would chop it up to that because it's not.
That's how it used to be. That's how it used to be, but it's not like that anymore.
If you think about it, it can't really be like that if it's based on electoral.
Yeah, but if you have somebody that has the popular vote, you know, because it's usually a pretty big landslide between who's
because
winning.
the last election, Hillary won the popular vote,
right, but lost the electoral.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It needs to be changed
because that would just mean that the bigger states with the more electoral votes voted
have the bigger say.
Yeah,
and they have the most say, and how fair is that?
Not really,
you know.
And then this is the first year I believe Georgia was a swing state,
right?
Meaning that it's just a state that could reasonably be won by either Democratic or Republican Party. And usually Georgia's red. Yeah. So that was big for us. And we had 1.1 million absentee votes.
Wow.
And then 1.2 million in-person votes.
Wow.
That's the highest record. That's crazy.
That is crazy. But it's good because people are voting. People are getting out there. And then what I think is happening too is people are realizing, or at least feeling like their vote counted.
Yeah, right. That's big too, because that deterred me from voting.
Right.
When Hillary lost, I was like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But then that's when I learned and I educated myself on the local elections. Me and my dad, we go out there all the time, vote in the local elections. We'll be like, okay, you look up this candidate, you look up this candidate. Sometimes we'd be standing in line and be like, okay, whose name sounds better? But at the end of the day, the fact that you vote in the local elections, because you can go to these people's office and voice your opinion or send them letters so they can make changes within your community.
And either way, regardless of who wins ever, we have to hold these people accountable.
Period.
We have to hold them accountable for what they said they were going to do.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, you voted for them or you didn't vote for.
They owe it to you. They owe it to you.
They
so
do.
We gotta remember
they won
that.
your vote somehow, so they gotta keep that vote and keep that say some way or another.
Right.
Okay.
So, good. Thank
so
you
that
for
was
education.
that first trending topic, the election. That was very interesting. All the memes, just the whole 9 yards, and it's still not over, which is it's insane. It's quite insane.
The next trending topic. This is a little sad.
This is dear and near and dear to us. Right.
It's about Alex Trebek, the host of Jeopardy. Jeopardy is a big deal in our household. We played Jeopardy and watched Jeopardy when I was growing up, living at home. And we still do it here, and I don't know what we're going to do without Alex.
I know. It's so sad. He was 80 years old when he passed on November 8th. He passed of pancreatic cancer. And I remember me and my mom, we were watching. She gets on my nerves with Jeopardy because, I can't say she does, but because I'm a sore loser and Jeopardy is hard.
Jeopardy is definitely
frustrating. Hard. But so sometimes I'll tune in with her and watch it. But I happened to be tuning in that one night when he announced that he had it.
Right.
And he worked up until
he worked up until October 29th, which was 1 week before he passed.
That's crazy. And he looked great. You couldn't tell.
Right.
You couldn't tell.
And he knew he was going, and he wanted to just keep going and, keep doing the show because, he did it for us. He did it for himself. So his last episode that he actually recorded will actually air on Christmas Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. He hosted Jeopardy for 37 years. And I didn't know that he did so many other shows. Of course, you find out all this stuff after people die.
Shows like what?
Some other game shows. I don't even know. But some other game shows.
Oh, somebody asked him who would replace him.
Oh, yeah,
and he jokingly said, it's probably going to be a woman, somebody with a great sense of humor. So I nominated Betty White. Yeah, he was great. So how did it change, from your time to now, Jeopardy, the game show?
Honestly, it has not changed much, but of course the topics have changed.
Well, they didn't have kids Jeopardy or young.
Yeah,
they had college Jeopardy.
They did.
I thought that was new.
Yeah, they did. But it had the topics, of course, have changed. They're a little funnier. He did a hip hop topic one time, And it was so funny to hear him because a lot of it was rap lyrics.
Oh, wow.
So he was, you know, that would be right.
Yeah.
He would say it, and he sounded good. He
Yeah.
sounded good saying it, but
He could articulate very well.
he was intelligent. Just to be able to pronounce a lot of those words and names, he was.
I learned so much from Jeopardy.
Yes. Yes.
Growing up with Jeopardy, so he will be missed, and I don't even think they should keep it on air, honestly.
Well, he would want. Well, he wanted. He wants them
that
to.
just takes away from it, like, because then they're gonna kill it.
I mean, it's some whoever replaces him has some really big shoes to, you know, to actually fill because he was great.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you can't put that pressure on somebody. That's big.
They may want that pressure.
So, shout out to Alex. So, what about the third trending topic? We got something for our gamers, the Xbox.
The release of the Xbox X series. So, of course, this is something that's really big to people at my job, and I'm sure a lot of other people. But it's so funny because I have a guy at my job. James, you will remain nameless. But he's a big Xbox fan, and what he does is that's what he uses his vacation days for. When a new game, when a new game comes out, when a new console comes out, when a new whatever comes out, he takes time off.
Oh, wow.
And he actually told me just today that he was feeling a little anxiety, or that he was feeling, a little bummed because he's waiting for Xbox to come out. So I think he's just a little anxious. I mean, it's serious.
Oh, see, I mean,
it's serious.
I don't remember the last time I played a gaming system.
I know. Now, Xbox is serious because, of course, what makes it better than the previous Xboxes,
probably like the graphics.
It is. It's like the 4K, the 8K high def, the architecture. It's faster. It does 120 frames per second. And
none of that means anything to me.
I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Oh, Lord. But, another thing that makes it different is it costs $500.
I think they usually cost about that much.
Okay, usually as of when?
I mean, I ain't bought a gaming system ever, but I'm pretty sure I've seen people post about how much it costs.
Yeah.
They be making memes like, ladies, this is what you should get your man, or you better act crazy stuff. But I mean, and that's another thing that's evolved over the years, the gaming systems.
Let me tell you, my first gaming system was an Atari. It may have cost $25. I remember Nintendo was $50.
Oh, wow.
I remember the games for Xboxes now cost $50. The games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We used to get a game for like $5. If you got a $10 game, whoo, baby, you got the top of the line.
Yeah. I remember like my little Game Boy. I used to love that
Handheld.
thing. Yes. And then like the PSP. Those were like high tech to me back when I was younger.
Right.
And then just like online games, like being on the computer, like it had all these games. Oh my gosh. Sims was my life. Okay. Like I was a Sims fanatic.
Shout out to Essence.
Yes. Essence and Ebony. Me and Ebony used to play Sims all the time. Like I swore my life was going to be like a Sims. And look at me. Oh my gosh. But no, Sims was it. And then just like, you could play the games on like the Disney Channel shows. It was just, it was crazy. Now it's so graphic and just,
I'm telling you,
real life.
Seriously, if I look at like one of the NBA 2K,
they be looking like real people.
I don't know. We don't know whether it's the real game.
It'd be crazy.
Yeah, remember when we were away?
Oh yeah, we were watching. I was like, wait,
we couldn't figure out if it was a video game or if it was the actual game, especially because it didn't have any fans in the stands.
Right, that threw us.
So they had the little cardboard people in the stands and stuff. So we were thrown off.
Yes. But yeah, and then just like how you could talk to people. Like I walk in on my little cousin playing a game and somebody, I'm like, or I walk in maybe with like something with some shorts on or something. I'm like, oh my God, there's somebody else in here. Are they watching me? Oh no, that's just somebody. We've been on the game for 16 hours now or something. Don't y'all eat or sleep?
I know. And actually, a friend of mine, Jackie Miles, shout out to Jackie, is he's a ref on the new NBA 2K.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
he's a ref in there. Don't ask me how that
Can I
happened.
be a cheerleader on there?
Do they have cheerleaders?
I don't know, girl. I don't know nothing about games. I just know people be hype over it.
Oh my goodness.
I wish I could understand the hype.
I know they do, but you know, it's just amazing because the graphics is just amazing.
Yeah, they really are. It look like real life.
It really does.
I know they spend a lot of time in it. I mean, I don't even know how often they come out with the new gaming systems. Maybe it's every year.
I don't know. I probably need to pay more attention, but I don't know. But
It's crazy.
Serious. It's serious. But it's created a lot of jobs too.
Yeah.
Because that whole industry, the gaming industry, you know, you could go to school and get a degree in just gaming. And you know,
or get paid to game, to be a gamer.
Oh, that's another thing. Now that's crazy when people log in to watch other people play games.
Gosh, I be like looking at Chink and Trey, and I be like, you really are amused by watching them play this game that you could be playing yourself.
Right. That confuses me, but okay.
I'm sure there's logic to it. I don't understand it. I be feeling like I'm getting old.
I know, but that's where we are these days.
Yes,
that's where we are.
So that was our trending topics episode.
Yes.
Just a little interlude into this new season, like we said on the live. Great things coming. Keep the feedback rolling in as well. We're open to new ideas always.
Yep. Tell us what you want to hear more of, what you want to hear less of. You want to hear less of Erika saying that's my passion. Just let us know.
Or you want to hear less of Sherry cutting me off. That
ain't gonna happen.
But yes, as always, thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Have a great week and a great day. We out.